now we have today our first keynote with us, right? And he's a veteran of over 26 years in the IT industry with experience handling multiple domains. He has handled multiple responsibilities across verticals and geographies with significant experience in consulting and system integration in the Oracle ecosystem. And his work has led to Infosys being recognized as a leader in the Oracle space. In his current role as Vice President Global Delivery Head, he holds the P&L responsibility for running the Oracle practice in retail, high-tech, comms, utilities, energy and resources, and public sector verticals. And starting off on a strong note, he will also be taking us today about AI-driven project management. By leveraging advanced algorithms and machine learning, may I please call upon stage Mr. Raghu Bodupalli and to kindly grace us with his presence. Yes, can we have a loud round of applause for our first keynote speaker?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, that's better. So Gyan, Lahari, what a beautiful name. Waves of knowledge. And on a rainy Saturday early morning, like the minister said, when we had so many other things to do, I must applaud you for you to take a decision to come here and ride the waves of knowledge at PMI PCC, right? So first of all, a big applause for all of you. So before I get into my topic, right, the agenda for the topic was navigating to the future AI-powered project management. When I was reflecting on that title, Navigating to the Future, I was thinking the future is not somewhere out there. Future is here right now. With the advancement of technology and the rapid pace at which the change is happening, as you're all seeing, the future is here right now, right? And what does this mean for all of us, right? And then we'll take maybe the next 20, 25 minutes to go through, how AI is evolving, how that is leading to challenges, what are the opportunities in this space, what does that mean to project managers like you and me. So first of all, I just wanted to understand the audience here, how many of you are not from the IT industry? Fair enough, about 30% of you. How many of you have been playing with AI so far in your work? In your role as a project manager, how many of you have used AI or have been using AI? Maybe 10%, 20%? Wonderful. In fact, there was a survey done by PMI recently, and it came out that at least 20% of the project managers globally are actually using AI already in more than 50% of their projects. The future is here right now, right? So when we talk about future, let me paint a picture for you. Let me take you maybe a few years down the road. How does it really look like? Imagine a CEO on the flight trying to understand, where his or her strategic initiatives, what is the status, picks up a mobile app, at a click of a button, gets a view across the 7 strategic initiatives of the company, understands not just the status of that, but also the key performance indicators of each of these strategic initiatives. What are the risks that are coming? Maybe drills down one of the initiatives where he sees a concern. On a click of a button, gets a little bit more understanding, and then calls up the project manager of that particular initiative, goes through that a little bit, and makes some decisions. An AI engine behind that app actually gives inputs, not just the dashboard in terms of what is the status, but actually the app gives the CEO inputs in terms of where the risks are, what are the potential mitigation steps, what are the decisions that he or she needs to be taking, and what are the next steps, right? The entire 9 yards. And she discusses with the project manager makes some decisions in the meeting itself. The meeting notes gets transcribed, the meeting minutes gets generated, action items get generated and gets transmitted to the team members, and the project schedule gets changed. The schedule gets communicated to the team members, and everybody gets started acting on the new schedule of the project. That's the future, and the future is almost there. How many of you would like to be in such a situation, such a project where most of the routine tasks are taken care of and you're focusing on your key focus areas? All of us? Absolutely. So let's see where we are. $48 trillion. This is what is the landscape globally. This is what project managers like you and me are handling in terms of projects across the world. But the not so good news is 35% of these projects are only expected to deliver the expected benefits. That's the current state. So, what do we do? How do we improve this ratio of 35-65? One option is to look at adopting new technologies like AI, IoT, cloud computing, blockchain, to really look at how we can make more informed decisions, optimize resource allocation, mitigate risks, and improve overall project performance, right? And even if you could impact 25% of that ratio, that would lead to trillions of dollars of savings and a lot more value enhancements to our stakeholders. So the next statistics that you see on the screen down below, a little bit scary. Gartner, and this is a survey done back in 2019, and it says 80% of the tasks that the project managers, all of us do on a daily basis, is going to be potentially replaced by AI. That's scary, isn't it? Does that mean, you might ask, if AI is going to replace our jobs? How many of us think AI is going to replace our jobs? A few hands. Let me tell you, AI might not be replacing your job, but a project manager who is using AI could potentially be replacing your job if you are not using AI. That's the power of AI, and that's the future. So as we see, and I come from a software engineering background, maybe some of my slides and talk is more from a software engineering flavor, but I'm sure that is relevant to across industries. And this is what we see as we move forward. The future essentially involves human and AI collaborating to build and evolve resilient systems and to really gain strategic advantage. The way we see AI is fundamentally changing the way we access and utilize knowledge. AI is acting as a disintermediator and a democratizer. Traditionally, access to knowledge and expertise has been predominantly been mediated by what we call as experts, consultants, or specialized institutions. And these intermediaries acted as filters. They were curating knowledge, they were providing insights to the rest of us. Now, AI is completely disrupting this model. It's providing direct access to information, it's providing automation of expert tasks. Some of the tasks that were done by the experts, now it's completely getting automated. You no longer need any experts for that. Like reporting, providing insights from the data, some of this is all expedited and automated. And even personalized knowledge of delivery, we're moving from a generic dissemination of knowledge to more personalized dissemination in terms of giving exactly what you want and what you need at a specific point of time that you need. AI is also working as a democratizer. It's pretty much removing the information asymmetry and creating a level playing field for all of us, giving access to knowledge to all of us. It's empowering individuals through that access, and it's really, hopefully that will foster more innovation and creativity in all of us. Now, in the software engineering world, we see this new phrase as code is the new data. We've all been used to this data being an asset and how it is being mined, how it is being used to gain more insights. Now, in the software engineering world, we now see code as a new asset that we can leverage. We can do analysis on it, like we do analysis on data, extract insights out of it, and make some key decisions. We're now doing machine learning on code, and using that, generating newer code for our programming. And this has a lot of implications. It is leading to data-driven development. It's leading to newer business models, and it's also helping enhanced security so that it takes care of some of the vulnerabilities on the coding side. And of course, it's leading to accelerated development on the coding. AI is impacting in a way in terms of doing a lot of shift left of the activities that we are doing, and it's creating a lot more evolved ways of working. And the way we see it, successful organizations are not the ones that just embedding AI into their current ways of working. What organizations are now doing is reimagining their processes, reimagining their business processes and their workflows in a way that AI and Gen AI can be leveraged most appropriately and provide a lot more value than just embedding AI into their existing workflows. AI is also creating new integrated engineering workspaces, which really brings in different stakeholders and creating this whole integrated workspaces, bringing in all of these stakeholders together, which is leading to reduced cost, accelerated implementation, and a lot more reduction of risks in projects. And that also is leading to newer skill composition in terms of what are the skills required as we move forward in this new age, right? And if you see the graph on the left side, this is how we see AI evolving. We've seen a lot of automation and predictive analysis that we've been doing and hearing and working on for the last few years. And that's now shifting to a phase where it's AI automated, either software engineering or any other aspect. Essentially, automation, driven by AI, assisted by AI, right? AI is driving productivity enhancements and in that area. And that, as a next phase, is going to evolve into a human plus AI collaboration. And that's where we see as a next phase in terms of AI evolution. So the AI models and the platforms and the tool ecosystem, we are seeing this evolve rapidly to enable acceleration across industries, either it's software engineering or any other industry that you can speak of. That's really evolving. We're seeing AI models as a rapid advancement in terms of ability to drive complexity, handle large data sets, and particularly based on deep learning. We're seeing specialized models which are trained and tailored for specific tasks. We're seeing a lot of improved accuracy. We used to hear a lot about hallucination and bias and all of that, but as a lot of R&D is happening, there's a lot of improved accuracy in the AI models. AI platforms are bringing a lot more democratization in terms of accessibility of AI models on the cloud side, bringing in scalability, and also building in pre-built components so that it leads to enhanced acceleration in terms of leveraging of AI, right? So there's a lot of work happening on AI models, platforms, and tools. And what that's leading to, if you see the graph, it started off with a custom consumer personal AI assistant. I'm sure all of us, bar none, have used something like a chat GPT, and that's now evolving into a specialized AI apps and assistants, and that's moving into custom AI apps using closed models, and then progressing into custom AI apps using pre-trained open models. And as we move forward, we see industry-specific AI apps using specialized pre-trained models. I'm sure you've heard about PMI Infinity. In fact, I was just reading through that. PMI Infinity is a great chatbot for project managers like us, a great resource for accessing the vast repository of knowledge that PMI has across the world. And in fact, I was reading an article yesterday. ICAI, Chartered Accountants Institute, has now created a new ChatGPT tool for CAs, right? So we will continue to see industry-specific AI apps which are specifically trained on pre-trained models. And that's how we see the evolution of AI models. So if you take that as an AI background and see how it's evolving in the project management space, right? There are three primary drivers, as we see it, for program management and innovation that have been scale, efficiency, and accuracy. Now, organizations have been looking at maximizing their ability to scale while at the same time ensuring that the engineering tools that they have remain relevant with ensuring the tools drive more and more efficiency. And this efficiency has really been the edge which is differentiating successful organizations from others, and their ability to derive and maximize the returns from their investments. And this is all dependent on their ability to execute efficiently and also at scale. The third important driver in the project management space is accuracy, and this kind of covers across quality of delivery to compliance, to regulatory compliance, regulatory requirements, and also deriving deep insights that can help in decision making at appropriate times. So when you look at all of these drivers and the project life cycle across the five components of the project life cycle that PMI talks about, we're increasingly seeing AI starting to play a role across the areas, right from project planning, project prioritization. AI is able to help in picking up the right projects which will deliver the best value across the range of projects that you have in terms of requiring to be able to execute, right? Right from project prioritization to task scheduling to risk management. Looking at the vast repository of knowledge from the previous projects, AI can actually give you the potential risks for the particular project, and also the mitigation steps that one needs to be taking at appropriate times. So from risk management, document management is again a vast area in terms of contract management, if you take an example, and that's something that we've been working at Infosys. Project managers have huge documentation requirements, either looking at contracts, making sense out of this, looking at contractual commitments from these contracts and making sure we adhere to those contracts, reporting, providing insights. All of that, AI is able to make life much easier for a project manager, right? And some of the other things like sentiment analysis, right? Being able to analyze the sentiment of all stakeholders, customers, partners, team members, and trying to understand where they are and what impact of these sentiments have on the project execution and the progress of the project, makes a big difference for the project manager, so that he or she can actually take appropriate steps to make sure if the risks are taken care of. So that AI can actually help in doing a sentiment analysis and take corrective actions, right? Task monitoring and performance monitoring. Being able to monitor the performance of a team member and therefore be able to take corrective actions and course corrections instead of spending too much time. AI is able to give you that insights automatically, and so that decision making becomes a lot easier for the project manager. So we see a huge play of AI across the life cycle of the project, and bringing in huge benefits to a project manager. So if you look at what a project manager does, Typically, if you kind of categorize the activities of a project manager, there are operational set of activities, you know, creating a project plan, reporting, following up with people, taking status updates, sending minutes of meeting, so on and so forth. That's like what I call the operational set of activities. And then you have this tactical set of activities where you have a little bit of a planning, decision making, resource allocation, scheduling, time management, risk management, and that's what I call the tactical layer. And then you have the strategic layer where you have a lot more strategic set of responsibilities in terms of working on the roadmap, engaging with the stakeholders, complex decision making. Now, if you look at the impact of AI across these three set of activities, at an operational level, and in fact, maybe 50% is a typo. I see that operational layer, at least 80% of the operational activities is going to be taken care of by AI. Tactical layer, while we are at 20%, we see that gradually evolving and taking, moving forward to 30, 40%. Strategic layer is where, and that's where the project managers, if they take time out, today what's happening, and I'm sure you agree with me when I say this, a lot of us as project managers spend significant amount of our time at the operational and tactical layer, leaving very little time for the strategic set of activities where you truly differentiate yourself and where you truly create the impact in terms of being able to deliver the right value from a project. Unfortunately, we're not able to spend time there because we're so deeply occupied at the lower two layers. Now, with AI, most of that is going to be taken care of, and we're going to be essentially having the time and the luxury to be focusing on the strategic set of activities, therefore creating the right impact and creating the right value for the project, right? And that's where I see AI helping us going forward. And we've talked about some of these use cases, document management, getting a summary of key project information, customer contracts, service agreements, compliance, audit documents, all of that, AI can help off. AI can help you generate a schedule. Now today we have tools where you can go and say, I want to start an Oracle ERP implementation project with a 12-month duration. It's a global rollout for 10 countries. Give me a schedule. Lo and behold, it actually gives you a big schedule, otherwise which you would have spent hours building that schedule. And this is coming from the vast expertise from the previous projects and the learnings from the previous projects and the best practices. And you have a template that you can start with. You can jumpstart from there. So AI can help you build that schedule. A lot of us, spend a lot of time on cost estimation as well. AI can help you on the cost estimates as well. Risk management is a big area which I think is going to have a significant impact from an AI perspective. From its vast repository, it can bring in the right risks that potentially that your project need to be taken care of, and not just identifying the risks and give you the mitigation measures, but also be able to monitor the relevance of those risks as the project progresses and give you the right inputs at different stages for you to be able to make corrective actions, right? So quickly, this is what we are doing at Infosys, covering the entire project life cycle. We have created a set of tools across different areas. I thought we'll give you a quick snapshot in terms of what we are doing. We have a contract analyzer reviewing the contract and extracting contractual commitments. We have something called a Scrum Genie, which is essentially helps you in Scrum planning, user story planning, ordering of the sprints, so on and so forth, composition of the team, so on and so forth. PM Key it's like a PM Infinity, which essentially has the experiences of all project managers. We built a vector database out of it and let the PM ask the question which is relevant to his or her project and let the chatbot answer from the repository. We have a Gen MOM, which kind of builds action items from meetings and also do the follow-ups based on the action items without having the project manager manually spending time on it. We have a risk ahead as a repository, a stochastic model that we have built, which essentially creates the risks based on the project-specific context and helps the project manager manage those risks. So these are some of the solutions that we've kind of been working on. Some are at POC stage, some are moving into the production, but we are seeing significant value out of all these tools. So what does this mean to all of us as project managers? What it means is we have to start working on newer skills, right? The core skills like leadership, communication, problem solving, risk management, change management, of course, continue to be there as skills. But some of these newer skills is what we now need to start building on so that we become more effective as project managers. Now, our time and energy is going to be focused less on creating documentation, operational layer, but the human connection is going to be more key. Now, emotional intelligence and the social intelligence, as I call it, is more essentially about picking up cues from around you, trying to understand the non-verbal cues of your team members, of your customers, and being able to get that messages and therefore be able to take some corrective actions. Right? Idea generation, critical thinking is very important, and this is something that will differentiate you. Differentiate between you and AI. Right? Being able to look at things holistically, bringing strategy into play, is something that AI cannot do. You will have to do it, and it's important that you build that critical thinking as a skill. Right? And some of us are more task focused. We are all oriented to just focus on tasks. Now we'll have to reorient ourselves to critical thinking, brainstorming, solution orientedness, right? So those are some of the skills that are required. Networking and relationship building, very, very, very important parameter, skill that we have to build. When AI is fully developed, maybe you will not be able to distinguish yourself from the content that you generate. AI is going to build that content. But what will distinguish yourself is about it's about whom you know, how you build that relationship, what you've been able to get out of that relationship, and how your project is getting benefited because of that relationship, right? AI expertise is no longer good to have in terms of AI expertise. You need to be an AI expert so that you leverage the maximum out of it for your role. And not just that, you need to continuously work with your team to make sure they are AI enabled and they are able to extract a lot of AI so that we maximize the outcomes out of the project. Continuous learning, as we've talked about, the pace of change is the fastest that we have seen, but it will continue to be more faster in the future. So as things move forward so rapidly, we have to be in this continuous learning mode so that we continue to learn and adapt as things change on a fast pace. So these are some of the skills that I believe as a project manager going forward in the era of AI that we need to start building on so that we become a lot more effective. I'm almost out of time, so I'll quickly run through. While we've talked a lot of good things about AI, there are, of course, a lot of risks that we see. There's a compliance in AI. There needs to be a lot more governance structure established at an organization level to make sure we're leveraging AI the right way. We're not getting into data privacy. Data is the biggest concern. A lot of organizations want to use AI, but the biggest hurdle for organizations today is having the data for them to run AI on. Right? So data availability, data curation, data cleansing, and essentially making sure the data security and privacy is taken care of, and we adhere to all the ethical AI standards. Right? There will be a lot of change management that we need to continue to work on, as this is a big change, and we need to focus on making sure we take everyone along. So my last slide in terms of what are the key takeaways. AI is not a replacement for human intelligence. While AI can replace some of basic project management tasks, majority of the project manager's job essentially will continue to be communicating with the team, the stakeholders, building, maintaining these relationships, which cannot be outsourced to AI. AI still needs humans to work on it. AI by itself cannot do anything. It will help you achieve effectiveness, efficiency, but you still need yourself, your team, and your folks to achieve these project objectives. So it's important to elevate your knowledge of AI. It's important to elevate your team's knowledge of AI. It's important to make sure you augment your processes, you reimagine your processes. Value is going to be from providing the human aspect to the experience as opposed to actually doing the process. right? And make sure you bring in the human element to everything that you do, right? And if you do all of that, if you do all, and some of you, might be worried about, like I said, will AI replace my job? If you do all of what I was just talking about, and trust me, you will not only keep your job, you will excel at your job, right? You need to have that flexible mindset, understand the AI technology, assess it, how it will help you and the team, and continue to communicate and guide and inspire your team to use AI and make it your friend rather something that you are afraid of. And I'm sure you'll deliver excellence to your organization, to your team, and to yourself as well. So this is all I had, folks. Thank you, and have a great time with AI in your career.
Any questions from the audience? Okay. Yes.
Hello, I am Pramod, working as a director, project management office. So my question is, when it comes to depending on AI, I see a risk of people not learning the core fundamentals of programming. So how to tackle that?
No, it's a great question. It's absolutely a great question. And that's what I was talking about in terms of change management. It is important extremely, and that's what I was stressing a lot of in terms of focusing on making sure you understand AI and your team understands AI and become not just aware, but also being expert at it, right? You need to get into the core of things. You need to get your hands dirty, roll up your sleeves, get into the technology and learn and play with the technology, right? And some of us are not used to technology. And one way of making sure the message goes out is essentially putting it out there, right? If you don't do this, somebody else will. Like I said, AI will not replace your job, but somebody who is using AI will definitely replace your job, right? Because what we are looking, the expectation from the stakeholders, the expectation from the industry is we run at a faster pace than ever before. We deliver a lot more than ever before. We don't have the luxury of time. We don't have the luxury of making mistakes and learning from it and then moving forward. We have to do things first time right. We have to deliver value first time, right? And if we have to do that, we can't do it alone. We need AI to do that with us, right? And that's the important message that we need to continue to give to our team members, right? And it's not going to be an easy exercise. I completely agree with you. It's something that we have to continue to reiterate on a daily basis, on a regular basis.
Raghu?
Yes.
Hi, this is Arvind from behind the hall. My question is within the slide itself, and thank you for presenting the wonderful deck. This is from the slide where you have shown the percentage of how much AI will, capture our efforts as project manager, which says about 80% operational, tactical, and strategic.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. So where you presented 80% of efforts can be, managed by AI. However, in the project management phase, we say that planning phase covers maximum time of the project, right? How have you come to a, calculation of 80% where AI plays an important role during the planning phase itself, where you have to only do mundane works because, as we say, artificial intelligence, it is not intelligent enough in comparison to a human being. So can you throw light on that?
No, thank you. So first of all, that percentages were directional in nature. There is no math and science in terms of how you arrive at 80% versus 75% or 70%. Just to give a message, majority of that set of activities in that layer will be automated. And when I said operational activities, it doesn't need to be specifically in the planning phase. Operational activities across the life cycle phases will be automated. Right? The tactical aspects will be less automated and strategic will be even less automated, right? Irrespective of which life cycle phase of those activities remain. That's how you should look at, and that's how I meant to talk about. Hope that makes sense. Yeah,
Hello.
sure.
Yeah, hi, Raghu.
Hello.
I have one
So,
last question.
just, yeah, we're out of time. We can maybe take the questions during the break. Yeah? So, first of all, yes, so you can wait for a second. Yeah. In your entire speech, my biggest takeaway and a biggest relief was the fact that you mentioned it should be human-centric, that project management going forward, while we utilize AI, should be human-centric, and the human element and the value and importance of that. So thank you. Thank you so much for highlighting that. So now I'll call on Vinay, Conference Chair and Director of PMI PCC, to present Raghu with the memento as a token of our gratitude.